This Monday morning, we bring you the very latest on the breaking news, the earthquake disaster unfolding in Turkey and Syria. At least 1,500 people are dead. That is the latest tally. And officials confirm a second powerful quake has followed the catastrophic first quake that hit as people slept early this morning. We have live pictures of just one of the rescue efforts happening right now in the disaster zone in Turkey. Crews working with heavy machinery and with their hands. We've seen some people crawling under tons of concrete trying to reach people who are trapped. And this video shows the risks of this work. Buildings are still collapsing this morning. Now, right now, Turkish officials say 1,014 people are confirmed dead in that country, more than 5,300 hurt, and hundreds more are feared trapped. Turkish President Erdogan calls it the worst quake disaster in his country since 1939. The devastation covers hundreds of square kilometers in Turkey and in Syria, including parts of Syria that are held by the opposition.
Many buildings in different cities and villages in northwest Syria collapsed, destroyed by this earthquake. Our teams responded to all the sites and the buildings, and still now, many families now are under the rubble.
Millions of refugees from the war in Syria are in the disaster zone. The White Helmets, who are carrying out rescues in rebel-held areas, say at least 221 people are dead there. In addition, Syria's health ministry says at least 326 people are dead in the government-controlled parts of the disaster zone. And all told, more than 1,000 are hurt in Syria. Now, the first quake struck early this morning, measuring magnitude 7.8. And in this video, the moment that quake hit, it's caught on camera. Survivors of the quake say it seemed to last for minutes. People felt the ground shaking as well in Cyprus to the northwest, in Lebanon to the southwest, on into Israel as well. The second quake hit just a couple of hours ago, and it measured 7.5. Dozens of aftershocks, at least one measuring a full magnitude 6, are still hammering the disaster zone. Now, the epicenter of the first quake is near the Turkish city of Gaziantep, and we're going to go there live. Dalia Ashri is a CBC reporter and producer, and she is there in Gaziantep to bring us the very latest. So, Dalia, what is happening there this hour, right there close to the epicenter?
Heather, emotions are really high around here. I mean, even for myself and people around me, I've been hearing people praying, sirens going off. So rescue missions are still happening and ongoing. As you've seen earlier in the promo, when I endured that second earthquake, it was quite shocking, even though I had experienced that first one. So there's a lot of debris everywhere. As you can see behind me, I mean, I don't know how much this camera can catch that, but a lot of it has fallen off the buildings. We have an old infrastructure here where I am specifically right now. However, when I went outside from this vicinity right here, and I was actually suggested not to because it's not safe, there's a lot of areas on the sidewalks that are taped off because some of the buildings have collapsed. Some of the debris of the buildings are on the sidewalk, so you can't walk around. People are not really driving outside. Many people are actually staying in their cars because it's raining and snowing today and since this morning. So they're running their engines to just have some level of heat. And even for myself, I mean, we barely have electricity here. It's on and off, no water. And it's quite a scary experience. And like I said, emotions are quite high. Mosques, the roofs have collapsed. There was a castle as well. It's lots of ancient ruins in the area of Gaziantep. And as you mentioned earlier, there's also a big Syrian diaspora here as well. So lots of emotions that are high because people are fearing for their loved ones, whether it's in Gaziantep or in Syria, unable to reach them because there's no internet connection.
that's such another point that's so important to make, Dahlia, the fact that so many people have fled the civil war in Syria, and so many millions of them are in and around Gaziantep, so right in the epicenter zone as well, even as others in Syria are also affected by this. Now, I was mentioning 7.8, the original quake, the magnitude of 7.8. It hit in the middle of the night as people were sleeping. That includes you, Dahlia. You experienced it firsthand. Can you share what you went through, what you felt in the middle of the night?
Yes, I mean, Heather, I'm taking a deep breath because it's a bit of a flashback, especially because now I've experienced it twice in about 24 hours. So 4 in the morning, I'm sleeping and I feel my bed just rattling like crazy. And I thought to myself, am I dreaming? What's happening? So I'm laughing because it's a bit of a nervous laugh, actually. But I ended up waking up just a little disoriented. I caught it on camera wondering what is going on. Then I slowly realized, no, this is an earthquake. I mean, my bed shook. I heard some things crashing, falling, not in my room, but just outside my room. So it was a plant that fell. So in that moment, just moments right after I felt the shaking, I think even my toothpaste and everything fell in the sink. I heard some of the receptionists, people that work here in the hotel, came knocking on my door and said, okay, listen, you got to get dressed. You got to head out. We're going to sit in the lobby together. Of course, there's a little bit of a language barrier too. So I'm just taking by sign language. I decided, okay, let me put my coat on. Let me take my passport, my money, everything essentials that I need. Went outside and started to feel those aftershocks. So a little bit of shakes here and there. And of course, people were, I think, usually you would think that people would be really panicking, but I think people are just trying to absorb everything and trying to think of a game plan. Just recently, actually, like you mentioned, there was that second earthquake. And I just want to touch on that as well, because we had a police come here and inform us that they might be relocating us to another area soon just for safety, because although the building that I'm in, and it's a low rise and an old infrastructure, is holding pretty well. Like I said, debris is falling, so that is pretty dangerous, and we don't want it to fall on us and collapse as well, although it is holding up pretty well here. I also forgot to mention, I noticed some people outside. There's areas, fountains of water. People usually use that for prayer to wash up before they pray, but people have been filling up containers, water bottles. We were handed water out here. So it is quite a frightening situation. I didn't take cover underneath the table, although a lot of people told me, hey, why didn't you? Quite frankly, there was a vanity, there's a mirror. I didn't want it to fall on me and hurt myself. So the best course of action was to come in the lobby and kind of stay with those that are around me, and felt a little bit more secure, and getting those water bottles from the reception here at the hotel.
Well, wherever you're safest and most secure, that's where we want to see you. But I really appreciate your vivid accounting of all of that. And you mentioned, Dahlia, that second quake just hours later. We have that on video because you were getting set to have a conversation with me earlier in the morning. So that'll be part of our coverage a little bit later on in the hour. For now, though, thank you for this live report. Really appreciate it. Again today, Dahlia Ashry, who is right there in the epicenter, Gaziantep, where this hit in the middle of the night. And again, coming back to the live pictures of the search effort, a couple of points to bring you from Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister. Number one, the response so far officially from the government is from Melanie Joly tweeting, a devastating earthquake has hit Turkey and Syria, claiming the lives of more than 1,000 people and injuring many more. Our thoughts are with the families of the victims and those still searching for their loved ones. So that is the official word from the Canadian government thus far. As far as response from the EU, we know at least 10 rescue teams have already been dispatched. 45 countries thus far have come forward with offers of assistance. It is going to be a massive international coordination effort. President Erdogan, says he does not know even where the number of dead and injured can go, anticipating that there will be so many.